Here's how to create 25x winning slips on ParlayPlay. Welcome to Juice Bets. My name is Trevor. We've been insanely profitable on ParlayPlay recently. We've been getting 25x, 22x, 12x, these massive winning slips in the past week. And I wanted to create a video here that would talk about, what is the best strategy for ParlayPlay? How are we cashing these slips so frequently? And, hopefully that can give you guys some insight into how we're doing this. And maybe you guys can take some things away and start being more profitable on that platform. So make sure you guys subscribe, turn post notifications on, like this video if you do enjoy it. And yeah, let's just get right into it. So ParlayPlay is another one of these daily fantasy platforms that have fixed payouts, and you have to be parlaying your slips. So basically, what it means is if you're taking, let's say, two players here, and you're taking them both under their totals, you're going to be receiving a 3x, right? As you can see here, a 3x on this slip. So you have to parlay these two guys together. So they both have to win for you to cash this out, but you get a 3x. And if I change this guy to more, it stays at a 3x. If I change this guy down here to more, it stays at a 3x, right? So basically, they give you fixed payouts and you have to be parlaying them. And you can go all the way up to a 7-man parlay. Now, the interesting thing about these fixed payouts, like on Prize Picks and Underdog, is that this offers you an opportunity to find value, to find plays, to find players and odds that are super favored, right, to go either over or under. And you put those into this parlay, but you remain at payouts as if they weren't favored. And that's where all this value comes from, right? That's why you can find plus EV slips. So let's jump into a spreadsheet. I know, a little bit of math here. We'll jump into a spreadsheet and I'll show you exactly how you should structure these slips to make them the most profitable. Quickly, actually, before we get into the spreadsheet, I wanted to mention this here, which is the insured versus all-in options that you have when you're placing a slip. So I've just created one here. It's a 5-player parlay on ParlayPlay here, 5 players. And basically you can decide if you want to go all in, which means you have to get all 5 correct, but you get a 22x payout. Or you can do the insured, which means if you get all 5 correct, you get a 12x payout. But if you get 4 out of 5, you get a 2.5x payout. So you can still win money even if you don't get all of them correctly. However, you limit your upside, right, by taking the insured, because 5 out of 5 on this one is 12x, whereas 5 out of 5 on the all-in is 22x. Okay, so keep that in mind. There's the insured and the all-in. All right, so on this spreadsheet here, created by Juice Bets and also Odds Jam, working together here, this allows us to really just break down the math and see what is the most profitable way to construct these parlays on this platform. Because obviously, depending on if you take the insured slip or the all-in slip, and then how many players you have in each, it changes your payouts, which changes the implied odds of each leg in that parlay. So for this spreadsheet here, flex, when I say flex, that means the insured one. And when I say power, that means the not insured, which is basically the all in, right? So on ParlayPlay, when I say power, that means the all in, okay? And so if we look at all of these plays, each one, whether it's 2-pick flex, 2-pick power, 3-pick flex, etc., each one has a different break-even implied odds, right? And that means each one has a different odds attached to each leg of the slip, right? So if you have a parlay on a regular sports book and you put a play in that is minus 140 and you put another play in that is minus 140, it's going to give you a payout of a certain amount based off of what those those odds are on each leg. Whereas with ParlayPlay, if you have a player that's minus 140 on another sports book and another player that's minus 140 on another sports book, you put it into the parlay, they don't take into account what the odds are in other sports books. They don't know. What they do is they have fixed payouts, like I mentioned. So the implied odds of each leg within the parlay changes based on what the payouts are, not based on how favored or unfavored the matchup is. So that's where we want to find, okay, what is the most profitable slip? What pays us out the most, right? Because that's what we want to find, is how can I create these slips where I'm being given the most amount of money per leg, right? So we're looking for the lowest odds. And this is what we find. The 5-pick flex and the 6-pick flex are minus 113.8 and minus 114.9. So this means that we're being paid out as if each leg of the slip, we have odds on those players of minus 114 and minus 113. Whereas with a 2-pick, it's as if we're putting plays in that are minus 161. So that means that we want to find the best value we can. And so we're only going to be placing 5-pick flex and 6-pick flexes because we're being paid out the most on those. Does that make sense? Because we're trying to basically place bets based off of math. And at the end of the day, we want to be paid out the most that we can. And so we want to take the odds that are the best for us. So let's look at how this actually works out. If we go to a 5-pick flex here, if you change the winning percentage, it's gonna change your ROI here. So if we change this winning percentage, let's say to 55%, that means our ROI is 11%. So if we're winning 55% in our legs, not each slip, right? Not each 5-man slip, but each play. So we have 5 players in there. If we're winning each play at a 55% rate, over time, our ROI is going to be 11.87%, okay? And that's on a 5-pick flex. Now, let's look at a 2-pick flex, right? A 2-pick. If we change this to 55%, well, we have a minus 14.75% ROI. That means that even if we're winning those slips, if we're winning at the same percentage, we are losing money. And that's why we come back to here, which means we want, again, to find the slips, the breakdown, the structure, how many players, if it's flex or power, we want to find what the break-even percentage is. And again, with 5-pick and 6-pick flexes, we only need to win at a 53.4 and a 53.2% clip, right? We only need to win at that percent of the time to break even. Whereas with all these other slips, you need to win at such a way more high of a rate, right? I mean, you could say that the 5-pick power and the 6-pick power are both pretty close, right? Pretty close to what these ones are. Same thing with the 7-pick power. They're pretty close to the same as these, but these are the best. 5-pick and 6-pick insured, right? Where you get paid out even if you win, 4 out of 5 or 5 out of 6, you still get that 2.5x payout. And again, it makes sense, right? You want to structure your slips where you only need to win. You need to win the least amount of times, right? Because that means that you're going to win more. You're going to make more money. So that's how we kind of use math to see, okay, what is the best way to be doing this? And now let's look at where we actually find these plays from. Where are we finding these profitable and these heavily favored plays? All right, so I have to use a previous slip from yesterday as an example off of my Twitter because right now there's no MLB games. It's the All-Star break, so can't look at it live. But let's use this as an example. I placed a 5-pick flex, right? So the insured kind, the most profitable here. And where I find the plays is the OddsJam Fantasy Optimizer. And this is a product by OddsJam that simply finds you the most profitable, the most favored plays to input into your lineups. And it makes it super simple. It tells you the player, what play it is, and then it shows you why you're taking it, right? And so, for example, let's look at the first one here. Ranger Suarez less than 5.5 hits. We see it here. Ranger Suarez under hits 5.5. And as we can see with ParlayPlay, we're getting minus 113 implied odds because we're using that five-man flex. And we are getting the actual odds off of DraftKings and MGM at minus 145 and minus 150. So that means we're taking a player who's actually favored by minus 145 or minus 150, and we're getting him at minus 113 implied odds in this slip. And that's why it's so profitable, right? That's why we're looking at a 55%, chance to hit here. And as we know, we only need to hit at a 53.47% chance with the 5-pick flex. So since we have this 55% play, it's perfect. You put that in there. And so basically that means you can kind of take plays all the way that are all green because it's anything above 53% and you're good to go here. And so that's how I built out this lineup. Let's look at the next play. Dane Myers more on bases and Verdugo less on strikeouts, right? So let's find this. Dane Myers more on bases, right? We're looking. We see minus 149 on Pinnacle, minus 140 on DraftKings. Everything is super favored, right? Everything is favored to go over. And so we are able to get him at minus 113. So that's how I build out these slips. I just find all the plays on the optimizer, put it into the slip, place it, and trust that process. And as you can see, if you check out my picket, you can see we're profitable on ParlayPlay. So that's how I find the plays. That's why it's profitable. The math backs it up. If you want to use the OddsJam Fantasy Optimizer, use the link down below. You get a 1-week free trial, so 7 days for free. And then after that, if you start paying, you get a 90-day money-back guarantee. So if you don't like it after 90 days, after 3 months, you can get your money back completely. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, found it useful. Maybe you'll start to structure your ParlayPlay slips differently. If you have any more questions, leave them in the comments below, and we'll see you guys next time.